CTRI a catalyst for transforming tobacco and other commercial crops ready for future farming. Dr. Madhav.
Yeah, good afternoon. The morning I said that a little bit brief discussion about the CTRI, and yesterday also I was talking about, some of the audience were there, so I will little bit fast in my this thing because CTRI working very intensely on tobacco from last 75 years, but now apart from tobacco, in other commercial crops also, how we are going to play a role for the to fit in a future farming very well. Next, should I do this? Okay. Yeah, I think some of the people, at least Chintalagaru was not there yesterday, but I can say that our institute started in 1936 in a Guntur with a small station called Cigarette Research Station, and then it was 1945 Indian Central Tobacco Committee started the CTRI at Rajahmundry, and then now we are 75 years over, and we came into the ICAR in 1965. All India Coordinate Network also started in 1970, and then that has renamed it as a ANRPT, All India Network Research Project. It is shifted to, it was in Anand, and it shifted to here Rajahmundry. Next. So if you see this, I said in the morning that we are in a second position in area and production, and the productivity we are in a fourth. And if you see the pre-FCTC, that is the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, it is came in 2005. You can see here, before that Europe was there, but after that it has reduced by 51%. But America also reduced, but Asia it was not much change. And then if you see the trends in seven decades, area is almost constant, it's not increasing, but because of productivity, the production is going to increase. So now the productivity also increased from 732 to 1720 kgs per hectare. So as a lead player in tobacco, what we are doing in a kind of tobacco, we are doing basic, applied, strategic, and anticipatory research. That's how we played a major role in tobacco. So in a basic research, as a national active germplasm site, we have a 3,386 germplasm accessions, and we have a core collections consist of 305 accessions. We made many pre-breeding material using different species of Nicotiana, and we used almost all the species and made a pre-breeding material for that. And now in the genomics, we made several microsatellite markers which are can be used in a molecular breeding, which are now being used, and mapping population also we have many. And the key genes for the soil synthesis, they are DXS and DXR. They are the soil is a alternate compound, sesquiterpenol, which is having a very high value in a pharmaceutical value. So that's biosynthesis also worked out, and also saw which are the genes which are really makes a higher production. Those two genes are important for soil biosynthesis. And of course, we also identified low converter nicotine lines. That means that is conversion from nicotine to non-nicotine. Those lines it will be less. So just now, Dr. Chintala was telling about genome editing. Yes, we already started genome editing to make a safer tobacco, that is like reducing TSNA, tobacco-specific nitrosamines, which are the major carcinogenic compounds. Because when nicotine is not very important, but when nicotine is converted into non-nicotine, from non-nicotine to, there will be three compounds will form, that is like NNN, NNK. These are the called tobacco-specific nitrosamines. They are mostly more in case of barley. So that conversion happens because of one gene called demethylase. That is a gene we identified by somebody, but that is called CYP82E4. That is now we are editing those genes so that the conversion cannot happen. There we got a really a lead, and my scientist may give a lightning talk on that. He can do more details in that. Next. So apart from that, we also doing a lot of basic work on soil water analysis, leaf physical and chemical quality, pesticide residue analysis, and identification of different aromatic compounds. One of our retired scientists, Dr. C.V. Narasimha, worked greatly into this aroma compounds isolation, bioactive compounds, and seed storage, pesticide application, and so on. And also identified, and soil health is very important, so we identified PGPRs, which are really important for the soils, and also suitable suckericide. Suckers, comes when we cut the top bud. When you cut, there will be adventitious buds, there will be suckers will come. That is a big problem in tobacco. So the technology was there from the long time. We were using coconut oil and other oils, but now we have given a technology which is now being practiced, decanol, but we are still, that is not effective now. We are working with the PPP mode. Morning somebody was telling in commercial agriculture, PPP, that Singh sir was telling PPP is the important. We already gone into that PPP mode and we got a very better, good results, so that we may give by another, maybe by next season, at least in Andhra, we can give the new saccharicide. So in applied part, as I said, that we, from the beginning, we got so many varieties, because unless we have a technology to have, to meet the requirements of farmers, the technology, one of the biggest technology is giving a varieties. So we have given 103 varieties, suitable varieties and hybrids, which are suitable to different agroecological zones of this tobacco, and given 120 production and protection technologies. And we have a committed extension service, dedicated service we have. We, in the tobacco, we deliver and also we do capacity building and real-time in-season advisories also we do, because tobacco board is backed completely by our technology, and we are the sole technology provider to the tobacco board. These are the recent released varieties, which I just want to mention that CTRI Navina is having a 3,300 kg per hectare, and Shrestha is in for light soils of southern region, which is having 2,400 kgs. In case of barley, Yasini is there, and in case of DJ1, in case of Jati tobacco, and in case of BD, we have a Andali Pugagu too. So we also studied the impact, because when we give the varieties, whether really is making any impact, and that impact in terms of money, how much it is giving a revenue to the national exchequer, and as well as how much farmers are getting. This is the impact studies we did, and in case of FCR 15, which is just released 1 year over, then within a year, within a year, around 1,600 crores, one variety has given this much revenue, 200 crores additional income to the farmers. I mean, that is the income we given by this variety, and which is really ruling now in southern light soils. We are coming with another better variety than that, but now it is ruling and it is giving a 200 crores additional income. Severally, I mean, like that, similarly, there are varieties which Siri was earlier variety, which was ruled for almost like 6-7 years, and it has contributed to the 24,370 crores. Not only FCB, we have varieties in BD, Rustica, and Chewing, and like that. So this is the impact of varietal technology. Unless we have a technology, I mean, commercialization, the technology is to be there, then only commercialization can happen better. And the seed supply, because the seed supply is one of the biggest problem in any crop, but in tobacco, we ensure that the seed supply to all the farmers, almost 90% of the tobacco farmers, we are giving the seed. Last year I joined in this institute, we produced around 13,000 kg, that is 13 tons, and we in the revolving fund, and got almost 2 crores rupees from this seed production. So, and we have many disruptive technology, for namely like simple, the trace seedling technology, which was not there earlier, which was only in a raised bed. Many of the, people know that it is the technology was in the raised bed, and their healthy seedlings was not there. But we have given the trace seedling technology. Now that is followed mostly in NLS farmers and KLS farmers are doing, but SLS still not happening. But we'll see that it can come in near future. But there are some technology like farm pond technology, climate resilient technology, what we were telling that now, when you have a cyclones, what we have, or when we have a drought, what we have, those kind of technology we have. And in case of, at least for the drought, we have very good technology. And also we have given alternate cropping systems I mean, other than the tobacco, but that's not happening. But some of the intercropping systems and cropping relay series is going on very well. Also, we have a resource conservation for the water, fertilizers, drip fertigation. That is the fertilizer use efficiency increased by around 30 to 35 percentage. And we have also, earlier we don't have a soil maps, but we have no soil map. Based on soil maps, we have got equation. Based on equation, we are giving a fertilizer recommendation to each farmer. And one of the thing is that in a curing in a tobacco requires a lot of energy. 1 kg of green leaf to cure is 5 kg of wood is required. That is an environmental issue. That is we are working, and so far what we did is that we integrated a thermal energy sources with the solar and integrated. Thereby we reduced almost like 33% energy was reduced, and we have also integrating with now natural gases and other methods. Electric method also we are now seeing, and the technology is there already, but still that we saw some problem is there in that, but we want to refine those technology also. Mechanizations, yes, just previous talker was telling that mechanization is really required. We don't have a robot now, but maybe the robot we can try. But what we have is that we have a simple tools like where the drudgery can be reduced or labor can be reduced, like bale pressing machines and tobacco stitching machine. Tobacco stitching machine, my colleague is here, and she designed very well and it's working. And we also using drones. We have advocating, and people are already using the drones, and tobacco transplanter is there. When the digitalization, we have meeting the farmers, more number of farmers through our mobile apps and our interactive web portal. And I said, as energy saving, we have got a significantly better results. There we are reduced the energy saving by now 33%. So, and further refinements are happening in here. So that was the focus in earlier year, but now the focus, as morning Dr. Krishna Kumar was telling, that the focus is on quality, because tobacco quality is important rather than the production, because unless you don't have a good quality, then the buyers will not buy, and that quality of Indian tobacco is good. That's the reason we are getting good revenue. But the quality maintenance, when we had that one, earlier we was doing only basic chemistry like nicotine, reducing sugars and chlorides, but now we are gone much ahead, even in quantification of TSNA, tobacco specific nitrosamines. We have now LCMS with us, it's coming, and we can do more compounds analysis also. And we have done a lot of other uses of tobacco, other than this general consumption. We have other uses, like I said, Solisol, which is patented process is there with us. Many people are approaching. And tobacco seed oil. Seed contains 35% oil, and that seed oil has the fatty acid composition is almost similar to safflower, and which is very good. And the initial trial with the National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad did, and they found that it doesn't have any adverse effect on mouse model. Now it is under consideration for the human trials are going on. Hopefully, if it goes well, this maybe comes into the, this is a work as done by ICT collaboration, the fatty acid composition. But whereas now this test in edibility test is going at NIN, National Institute of Nutrition. If that comes, this also comes into the kitty of oil kitty, so that import can be reduced. Oils we are now importing India, so that can be one of the product. Nicotine sulfate, of course, we are doing pure nicotine is 86 to 90% pure nicotine extraction we have. And leaf protein, the leaf has around 2% protein. That we found that it is interestingly, that is better for even animal and poultry feed. So these are the alternate uses. We are putting more focus on that. And now, other day somebody was telling that even tobacco seed oil is used in some countries, used in perfumes. So those we did not really try, but there is a really can be used in we can explore in coming days. In strategy research, as I said, that low residues. That is our strategy, to have a low pesticide residue, because that is one of the important point to make our Indian tobacco as a quality product. So we were doing for the low CPA tobacco. And precision farming, already ITC people doing, and we also learned from that, we can demonstrate, and we already submitted a project to NABARD, and it is in the, which is in the consideration now for IoT-based irrigation and IoT-based for fertilizer application also. As I said that second side, we are doing with a PPP mode, and increasing alkaline content in barley. Barley tobacco is another type of tobacco where mostly it used in cigarette for the blending. There the shift has shifted now. Earlier it was low nicotine, now they are asking high nicotine content. So we are now doing more in identification of new locations, and breeding also started at Kandakuru, and some of the nutrient management also techniques we are following to get a high alkalate content. Of course, climate saving and energy saving technology, as I said earlier, that drought tolerant lines we have, but we don't have a high, water logging conditions we don't have. So we want to have integrate both technology like water logging conditions when you have a water more, and also drought, so that both can be matched together. So in anticipatory research, we are also developing FCV lines suited to all the zones, and exploring FCV germplasm for short duration where it is really required. In case of like now we have Michang cyclone, there people want to go next cycle, so short duration is required with the uniform maturity. So only maybe 1 or 2 plugs they can do, and then they can go for this kind of contingency plan. So that's we are now searching. We have a germplasm, but we could not do much now, but we are now more doing into that. And soil health management, I said we are doing, and TSNA through genomating suckerless tobacco. Can we produce a suckerless tobacco? That was a question I asked in the December when I came. Even after cutting, even after you are removing, we have any genotype which cannot give any adventitious buds. Can we have a suckerless tobacco? That's also, we started now to doing that, and scaling of alternate use of tobacco, of course, is going on. So if you see the impact, I just want to share that the impact is very high in CTRI for the tobacco. CTRI's impact in the tobacco is very high because the sole technology was given by us. But I can say that only the exports revenue, as I said earlier, that export was going from 2013 to, if you see, it was 6,000 around crores now, but it's going to now 9,339, almost 9,400 crores. So it increased by almost 40%. So what we want to do further is that our sources we are doing, and molecular breeding emphasis is going on for mostly fusarium wilt and root non-nematode, and genomating we started, and botanicals want to do for the lower pesticides, and designing machinery we were designing, but it was validation is a problem, and we want to validate in all the zones. Coming to the other commercial crops, when we said that tobacco we have played a very significant role, but in other crops we want to play more better as a catalyst for increasing their profitability. For that, I just want to show that in Chile, in India is producing like 20.49 lakh tons, and even in the export we are getting around 8,582 crores, and India is still ranking first even in the production and as well as in the export. Whereas in turmeric also, it is producing 13.31 tons, and it is in the first rank. And mostly all these 4 crops you can see, except tobacco, we are in the first in production as well as export. But most of this export is happening only raw. It is not happening through any value-added products. If you can do any value addition of these things, either maybe primary or secondary, I think this export revenue will increase. In that of light only, this NIRCA, National Institute for Research and Commercial Agriculture, that is the transition happened now, that is now concentrating on all these 4 crops in a value addition mode. So this, I have a big slide here, but I just want to say that in chili and turmeric we have a beautiful plan. I think we discussed with Madhuri Madam also there, and with Dinesh also we discussed. But most importantly here, we want to develop more of more how to make this chili and turmeric, how to make profitable. Because we're not working on production. Somebody was telling more we are working on production, but our focus is here only to make value addition in that. or maybe some local genotypes are there, especially if you see in Paderu or in Araku, Lambasingi, we have got a turmeric which is having a 6.8 curcumin, whereas there are some varieties from northeast, Lakdang and all, but when they come here, the curcumin content go down because it is genotype into environment interaction, but we have here only, but we don't have a proper agronomy techniques for that, or proper processing they don't do. Sometimes they do same turmeric, they grow on second time. So when the mother rhizomes, when you take the second rhizome, it goes on. So that's what we want to do, and we already had a farmer produce organizations on turmeric and chili both in a different form, and yes sir, that we want to do. In case of in Ashwagandha also, Ashwagandha, my colleague is there, is expert in that, but Ashwagandha also we know that its medicinal properties, but still it is not known that which type of Ashwagandha, which chemotypes is better for which disease. Those chemotypes are not known, and also we have collaboration with ICT, my friend has come, Dr. Suresh. With that we know only that vithanolide is important, but there are many compounds, vithanolide A, vithaferin, and how to make them more easily extraction and more compositions development, those things are not clear, those ones we want to work. And in castor, only one area we picked up, in the castor oil, we are exporting castor oil to different countries, and we importing the castor oil derivatives. The export value is around 4,000 crores maybe, but we are importing 6,000 crores only in castor oil derivatives. The castor oil derivative, one of the castor oil derivative is 2-octanol. 2-octanol extraction technology again developed by ICT, but it was so costly, this technology, and there were no buyers to take that. So that is the reason we want to make it very simple, those technology, so that the company can take. And the 2-octanol is there in many of the products of castor-based products. So that's how story is, our journey is from CTRI and ICAR to going on, and in that we have a valued collaborators in our research like Tobacco Board, ITC, GPA, Alliance and VST, and we have tie-ups and MOUs with Adhika Vidyanaya University, YSR Horticulture University, and even Telangana State Horticulture University, Angro, NAM, and we have now IASR, Indian Institute of Spice Research, because our own ICAR Institute, we are having some plans to do, as morning Dr. Dinesh said, we have some plans to do where they left some of the works, there we want to do with IHR and Indian Institute of Vegetable Research. Dr. Behra is coming tomorrow for this thing, and DMAPR with the medicinal crops, IOR on castor, and then we have DFR is our horticulture research is just in the Kadiyam. They are having 5 scientists. Now they are also sitting in our institute. We want to have some programs which are very common. Nematode problems is very common in both the tobacco and as well as in a flower crop. So we made some programs. Similarly, Atari for value addition and other things. And we have very good tie-ups with ISCT, NAN, CFTRI, and Spice Board and EPIDA. So the journey is going on. I think in a future, another maybe when you see another 25 years, then the NIRCA also definitely will play a significant role. With that hope, I'll conclude my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Madhav. We again take the questions at the end of the session. Now I invite Dr. Krishna Kumar, Vice President ITC, to speak on climate change and sustainable tobacco crop production. Dr.